Let's ride it to the moon.
That certainly looks like where it's going at the minute. They have come back so strong after that first map on Chalet Cafe. Just looked like a different team. Let's see which one turns up here for both of these two organizations. Furia versus TSM. We are one map all. We are heading into Oregon, and we are looking at a potential classic here showing down between these two. Capitao and Ying, talk to me, Des.
Oh, that's just all about the executes, and you look at that and just think, right, smokes on Capitao, smokes on Ying, the Candelas, the Firebolts, everything is designed there to make attacking incredibly easy, at least where it comes to the executes. Those two being taken off the board is going to make it much harder to crack the eggshell of the basement. Mira makes it a little bit harder to defend as well. Imagine our last ban is going to be something like a Valkyrie. We spoke about it all week long and how powerful it is. Sure enough, off the board she goes. But I love that Capitao and Ying ban. I think it's really focused, really targeted in towards executes, especially in the basement. You might still see smokes being brought by like Twitch, for example, but these two being away, again, two of the best executing operators in the game, no longer available.
Right, Des, let's get into it. Round one. We're going to be heading...
Can we do the hand thing again?
We can do the hand thing again.
Ready?
Yep. There we go, we're ready. We are ready. Me and Des are all ready. Hot, we are ready to go. And we're going to be going down to Laundry. We've had two maps to warm us up to this point, and there is no cooling down here, Des. There is no taking your foot off the accelerator. This one, as you say, is going all the way.
I'm glad it's like 3 degrees outside, mate, because we're going to need somewhere just to go and chill out.
To be fair, it was snowing when we came in this
It was.
week, so who knows, we might get out there to a nice sort of white canvas to really cool us down.
And I love it. Tim, what did they slap TSM about with on Chalet attacks? What were the two ops that really changed the game for them?
Lion and Dokkaebi, Des.
Yes, they were. What have they got on side here?
They've got the Dokkaebi.
And what's that at the top of your screen, Tim?
That's a Jackal.
Yes, it is, Tim. 10 points to you. These two operators are designed for very much the same purpose as you saw before. That Jackal to deal with the real... No. How can you really describe him? Frustrating roamers is the best and nicest way to put it. If you're attacking on the top floor and someone's in basement using it as their personal playpen, a Lion isn't really going to cut the mustard. You need something a little bit better than that. And Jackal, far more focused at chasing down those roamers. On this site in particular, I was about to say I wouldn't be surprised if TSM only play on site, and then we've got Geo and Achieve both on top floor. Okay, let's see. They've got bulletproofs up there as well to support inside of the big tower. So clearly there is some intent to do something up there.
They've gone back.
Didn't they put a bulletproof down in big tower? Can we look at the big tower on the right-hand wall? I swear we saw Achieve put one down or do something. Maybe he was just drone hunting. No, never mind.
Possibly, yeah. No gadgets over there.
Oh, okay.
We've seen them both pop. There you go. There's your answer. Geo's going to place it down in the basement at pillars, and that's going to look on towards bunker door. So it's just going to tell them, and through electrical as well. So it'll get a little bit of information from different locations depending on the stage of the game. Fantasy's in there already, Des. He's chasing down here.
Awesome.
Very selective on the footprints. One was yellow, but it just flicked to green as he went for the scan on it, I think. So that's going to give him the position of Geo for the time being, who was the one who had rotated through Attic. It's not really going to tell him too much. Merc going for a cheeky nitro there, really long arming it out of the door. Rare. He's going to take a tickle of damage, but not too much. And that is just going to set Furia behind a little bit, just maybe slow them down.
I love it. Just the fact that you're trying to be aggressive and stop Furia, slow them down, given their pace is never a bad thing, but Furia looking largely unfazed by not getting on the drones, not slowing things down. Just leaving Merc to his own devices, really, and they're already charging their way through here. Merc sat down towards the laundry side of things whilst these hatches are being opened up. So he has dialed back down all 5 members on site in this wonderful kind of pentagon shape that you can see here starting to form. Now Merc, you're just breaking the perfect shape, mate. Please, go back.
Fantasy's already pushing down into Freezer. Bolo's going to try to aggress forward a little bit just so he can get that Wamai Magnet out there. He's got his shield to play in behind as well. Needs to be careful because it is the Vulcan shield, so if it is exploded, flames will spill out and will damage him as well. Wow, Miracle's gone for the hatch drop. He's been shut down by Bolo, who was well alert to that. Nade comes in to take the shield out. Bolo's position now a little bit more perilous, but a good start for TSM.
Massively so, yeah. I was going to say TSM employed a really sweaty angle the other day. Oh, but Fantasy rolls up and gets 2. Off on highway by himself, hides into a third, and TSM have crumbled again. The pace, the presence, the pressure out of Furia, just too hard to match. Achieve left alone, gets swung on. It's round 1 to Furia.
There is no stopping the Brazilians right now. They're just flooding to sight despite losing Miracle to Bolo. It just doesn't even break their stride. TSM just looking broken at the minute, Des. There's silence amongst the team. They just don't seem to have an answer to this ferocity of Furia.
They just didn't have any idea what was going on in Deep Freezer. Once Bolo got... Yeah, we can hear the cheering from all the way over here. Still, even as the round is starting to get underway. What we had there really was the shield blown away. I can still hear him. Please, guys, there's a game to play. I'm living for it. The shield got blown out in highway, and Bolo then was forced to step back. For a brief second, I mean, really, Merc should have probably had eyes on it on the cross, but was probably too worried about what was going on in Laundry to step across. So no one had insight into what Freezer was doing for the next, 5 seconds or so. And what do they do, Furia? They aren't a team to sit down and drone it out and make sure it's safe. No, 2 members just charge for that north door, completely blindside TSM, rip Bolo out of highway, and the whole thing just falls apart from there. Again, Furia see an opportunity, and they take an opportunity. The same way Lender did to when they had, I think it was Merc playing on the Jaeger inside of storage, and he spun around to shoot out some ex-Kairos. They just charged at him. This team are not afraid of taking a risk. They will take any gunfight if they think there is even a slither of a chance they'll get the win.
That's the danger with a team like Furia. The confidence is up now. They've won those tough fights, and they now believe that they're going to win more of them. And this is the problem in Siege. Often if you go in with confidence, you're the one that wins the gunfight, and that's the reality. They're over in a fraction of a second sometimes, and that's what we're seeing at the minute. But come on, TSM, enough's enough now. It's time to get yourself back into this. They've lost a lot of consecutive rounds, and this is not going to be easy. They need to just knuckle down and get themselves on the board. No matter how they win the round, I've said this about championship winning teams before, Des, you've got to be able to win ugly. And right now, they are struggling. Fantasy takes down Bolo to start us off, and it is once again advantage Furia.
I love how they were already shouting there just from getting the entry onto Bolo as well. Massive achieve from top of green, finds one back onto Fantasy and shuts down the lethal machine of Furia. Now 4 versus 4, things can settle, but only for a few seconds, Tim, because we know Furia are already thinking about the next gunfight.
They certainly are. Merc, he's going to try and hold down the attic for the time being. He knows that the Maverick's there. He's just going to signal it out. Pretty standard work coming in from highs. He's going to open up a peak line, a grenade line, and then he's going to open up an entrance on the right-hand side behind the cover. But Merc is well aware that that's going on. Lender has aggressed up into Trophy here, though, and they need to be careful inside of sight about their rotations. They should know, though, because Charla should have spotted that out from behind the shield. As you say, Furia need to be clearing that out. They're halfway through the round. It's 4 versus 4, and TSM are okay at the minute. Achieved all the way down in the basement, and I'm not sure Furia have got a handle on his location.
Well, why wouldn't you, right? You killed the Jackal early. He was the anti-Roma setup for this team to deal with the sort of stuff that Achieved is looking to do. I mentioned about him disappearing into Narnia in the basement. They're making full use of that now the Jackal's off board, so very smart stuff. The Goyo shield has been popped away here. Final 60 seconds we start stepping towards. Highs is looking to find a way to get inside a pit because there is still Merc looking to swing onto him. If they remove Merc, they remove a lot of this defense, and there's now 3 of them all trying to press onto one man.
That's it. They know that he is the sticking point right now. Achieved is still holding his position. There's 45 seconds left to go, and he's just waiting for the perfect moment. The drone not really going to game Fury or anything because they are well aware of Merc and what he is doing. Lender trying to move around, but he just can't get any freedom from Charla in behind those bunks, and it's just making life a bit of a misery. I think it's actually Geo over there on the castle. Charla's inside of the other domes. Rare manages to get Charla. Merc onto Rare for the trade. 3v3, 20 seconds left to go. Merc finds another, and my question is now, how does this end? Achieved is down. It's 2v2. It's 15 seconds. Who can win the gunfights? It's Furia right now, Des. 2v1, 1v1 effectively. Geo versus Highs. 8 seconds left to go. He takes out the man who's actually doesn't see him on the backside, and Geo scraps hard, tooth and nail to get around for TSM, and that could just change the tide for the North Americans.
You'd hope so, Tim, because they haven't got a lot to go on at the minute. It's still looking a little bit dicey. Furia aren't going to be rattled by a single round loss. And you can even see in a couple of the faces of the TSM players a little bit forlorn there. They know the momentum is working against them really heavily here. And if not for the clock, that could have been a much closer affair. We head back down into the basement once more. TSM confident they can correct the woes of round one. Just to recap again, they didn't stop the players from charging into Deep Freeze, pushing into Highway, and killing 2 members of TSM that basically ended the round there and then. If they can get this right this time round, good. We've then got 2 rounds back to back. The recovery effort begins, and my God, TSM need a lifeline right now.
They certainly do, like you say. Maybe that was it, Des. Maybe that is the log in the torrent of a river that they currently find themselves, that they can grasp onto, that might just be able to get them to the side safely so they can get steady on their feet and really start to fight to their full capability here, because we haven't seen it over the last few rounds and we want to. We want to see TSM coming at this full force now. Furia as well, neither of them giving any quarter to the other, and neither will desire it, of course. 1-1 on the scoreboard. We're heading downstairs. It's going to be laundry and supply this time. Furia were able to win it in round 1. It all came after the hatch drop from Miracle. Bolo got the kill onto him, but it just didn't matter. It took TSM's eye off the ball, and Furia were able to flood in and just wash over them and get the kills. This time, TSM, they need to make sure that they don't give that kind of site access to Furia.
No. The more the freezer control was the big issue, to be honest. Again, just not letting them slip through those couple of key locations will be the way to take yourself a win. With no Jackal on side, I don't know if they'll have clocked it yet because Fantasy hasn't been rolling out with those Roteros, but once they get moving, they can then probably start doing a little bit of quick maths and understand there's a very good chance there is not a Jackal on side this time, and they can make good use of a roam. No use, of course, if they are already all on site, which they are, but you might find a Chief looking to pop his way up big tower stairs, for example, deal with a flank drone, and then go on a little adventure to try and find a couple of members of Furia in the backside whilst they're trying to work on the lobby and Freezer's side, which appears to be, for now at least, where they want to start.
They're going to get the hatches open, should give them access into Freezer. Bolo is playing in there, just looking to peek around the lockers, and he's actually just moved back into Highway, but he's got his angles through, he's got his shield still in place. Cautious of playing too close to it, of course, as I've said previously, it's the Goyo Vulcan shield, so damage will be done if it does explode around him. That's one of those cleared out with a Rotero drone. Rare just darting in as well, taking further utility out with the Twitch drone. I think he's going to lose that one to Chara as he darts through the drone hole there. Merc just trying to hold on to the bottom of Laundry Stairs. He knows that there's attention coming and a push in that direction, but Furia may be getting ahead of themselves here, pushing too close to the bottom of those stairs. Lender lucky not to lose his life. They're not ready in Freezer yet, Des. They need to coordinate this push.
That is so mental that he's literally sat on 1 HP. Fancy doing as he did last time around and looking to push up quite deep inside here. They're forced the players back. Bolo this time is inside of Freezer, mind you, so he should be able to contest a much better angle. Round comes the drone, easily taken out, and they really wanted to remove a shield that might have been present inside a Highway, but this time round there isn't wanted. They're backed away a little bit deeper here and have dug in, ready for the assault to begin.
TSM looking much, much stronger here, and there we go. Bolo with an opener. Merc doubles down and gets 2 and 3. Achieve finds 1, and it's all up to Rare. Shut down in a heartbeat as TSM are back, and we see a little bit of relief on those faces. You can see the pressure lifting on these players. They're sitting up a little bit straighter, Des. They're looking a little bit sharper, and TSM, they are back and fighting.
This is where we might start having a game on our hands, Tim. So often we do. This one, as you called at the very start of the series, could turn into one of the greats here at SI. You know, imagine if these teams, you know, the loser drops down to lower bracket, fights their way all through that and comes back to meet each other again towards the later stages of the tournament. Oh, what a dream that would be to witness.
Absolutely unreal. This is the second time that we've seen these two teams meet up, and luckily for Des and I, it's the second time that we've cast this game. We were honoured enough to do the first one, and it was a close game. It was 2-0 to TSM that time around. Furia weren't able to find that map win, but both of them were close. One of them going to overtime.
7-5-8-6, yeah?
Yep, exactly that. Whereas this time, Furia, they managed to find that extra yard. They managed to find that extra little bit that they needed to get that map, and they take us all the way to 3, and it's being hard fought at the minute. We would expect TSM to have the better half here on the defence of Oregon, generally speaking. Furia, if they can find another 2 rounds, I think they will see that as a real opportunity.
Whew, okay. I can't believe I'm saying this, but TSM with 2 successful rounds in a row. It's been a long time since we said those words. Now find themselves heading to the offsite, meeting and kitchen, where we go to. And Furia deciding here, all right, it's time to get the Jackal back on board. We had the Flores in for the last round, did a bit of work for us, helped us clear a couple of things, but after Fantasy found a 2K in the prior round playing on that Jackal, why not give him back something that one provides a lot of utility, and two, something that he clearly is very, very confident on. Gio looking to hold halfway up the stairs here, a bit of a contest down in towards meeting side, but I think if nothing else for him, it's about collecting drones here and then dipping away again.
Lender just using the Gemini decoy there, dropping back out of it. I'm not sure what happened there, whether he thought he was being pressured maybe. He's got Bolo pushing right up behind him because he's inside of armory, so he wouldn't be too far wrong, but he jumped straight onto his normal drone and had a little look to see if he could find the man. He's going to aggress over because he knows that Bolo was just pushing a little bit far forward there, and he's looking on this upper floor clearance, but Desi goes running in and Bolo cuts him down. TSM are flying in these last couple of rounds, and this is what we wanted to see out of the North American side. They're really showing us what they have over the last couple of days now. We're seeing the best rather than them struggling. Fantasy, he's still on the chase. He's all the way down in basement. It's going to be achieved that he's looking for. He's creeping around. Who's going to find it? He gets one. Does he get away with it? Yes, he gets Merc on the drop and escapes with his life.
Also being challenged now from another set of stairs by the looks of it, just waiting through, at least into security. Nothing to be found yet. Charla dug in with a shotgun, who's probably on the wrong side of this cross. Unless Fantasy just ignores him and goes straight upstairs, which is exactly what he'll do. Has the footprints on his ground if he wants to try and track those to see where Bolo is. Got to be careful now that Bolo at least is being pressured from 3 different directions. A Miracle don't need no tracking, just finds a headshot straight onto Bolo. The only tracking he was doing was onto that noggin. Now down to a 4 versus 3. Furia again starting to build back into the round.
Really well played from Furia there. Beautiful teamwork to coordinate that push onto Bolo and clear him out. They've got the vertical. They can start thinking about how to get themselves onto site. It's 4 versus 3 man advantage as well. Miracle's going to go in through small tower, so you would expect the potential for a kitchen plant here, but he's going to have to be careful with that diffuser in hand. He needs to let Fantasy take the challenge, whilst Achieved looks to try and reclaim the top floor, but he gets one kill. There's one not far behind him, though. It's Rare who gets the trade. It would have been Fantasy if not, and it's all up to Gio. 1 versus 3, and Miracle has an opportunity to go in and get this diffuser down, but he needs to make sure that he's got the cover. I think Gio might just be able to find himself one here if he's smart. Bottom of white stairs. He knows exactly where the man is. There's a couple of bullets coming towards him. He's going to try to hold down from security, and right now, the focus for Furia needs to be on getting this diffuser down. They've got 10 seconds left to do something about it, and Fantasy's going to do something. He's going to find the final kill after he pings out the Jackal and closes out the round, and that is Furia answering back 2-2.
Keeping it nice and tight, aren't they? And every attacking round win is going to speak volumes here as well. If they can get a third, either on Kid Storms or up on the second floor, which should likely be the next 2 sites that we see. In this case, Kids first, then down into the basement. Then they'll be absolutely ecstatic. 3 rounds on the attack of Oregon would be an absolute dream. But as we go to this top floor, once again, that Jackal is returning. A big leaning towards these Intel operators across the series for Furia. We've seen Niana quite a lot. Twitch has been in the mix too. And now Fantasy's going to change away. Is it going to be the Lion making a return here? Or will he go towards something like the Nook? May even be the third choice there that I definitely didn't say out loud. Finker. Stepping in with more nades. So often what you'll see for a lot of teams is a mix-up between these two, where you have Iana or you have the Finker. Like, sometimes we used to see both, but the current meta, I think, with the strength of Twitch, for example, with the need for a hard breacher and Sledge being strong, normally it's rare that you'll see the two alongside each other. Here, though, you are going to get both. So, you get them both being able to play entries. The ARX, a great gun. The LMG for Fantasy, also going to be absolutely huge. And 6 frag grenades to play behind is the big one. If nothing else to me, that just says we want downstairs control, and we want to start lobbing those nades skyward.
That's it. We've not actually seen too many of those kills utilised so far in this game, really. We've had 1 or 2.
Well, we had Lender getting 2 in 1 round, if you remember. That was magic.
2 kills 1 round, but like I say, it's not been a consistent theme throughout. And like you say, Furia just wanting to maybe bring it as a little bit of a secret weapon, a little bit of a pocket strat. You know, let TSM feel safe. They've not been using the underneath too much. Right, bang, here you go. 6 nades from underneath. See how you feel about that when the floor is erupting around you. Bolo's going to get himself a drone there in the main lobby. That brings the countdown to 7 for Furia at the start of the action phase. That's actually pretty good going from TSM.
2 Gone 6s on side is worth noting as well, so I can't imagine you'll see shields or bulletproof cameras really being too long for this world. The Wamai the only thing really around to prevent these things being taken out by nades, for example. So let's keep an eye on those. A shield inside a trophy should be backed up by a player inside a pit. Yep, Merc is inside there as well, so they've got the good coverage that you look for in this kind of position. Geo being quite aggressive down main, just in case someone is coming crouch walking up. The answer for now at least is no, just narrowly missed out on the drone and sat on that door too.
Lender not inside of the building yet. I think he's maybe going to consider getting himself into Armory or Garage. It will put pressure on Geo and might just move him. It's looking like Armory, as that's the top floor window. Needs to just get himself repelled in. Geo's been pushed away. He's going to move to play inside of Closet. They've left that wall soft, given the fact that the castle barricade is there. Nice play from Geo, and we get a great view of it. And he's going to reinforce the wall as well. So he uses the EMP on the camera, stops the drone, kills the drone, and reinforces the wall. Merc, he's going to stop Lender dead in his tracks, finds himself a headshot and shuts down the Iana. That is 1 kill to the good for TSM, and they are looking good here on this top floor hold. Halfway through, no key utility taken away from them really yet. Shield's still in position, castle barricade still there, wall not breached. A lot of work for Furia to do.
There's a lot to play through here, yeah. I mean, the trophy at least has been forced away ever so slightly here. I think he stepped back across in towards sight and down and away. Bolo back off towards the west-hand side. Merc still in pit, but Miracle is in and finding one. That one through the game breach. One shut down on sight because it was Charlie who was holding on towards concrete there and looking to challenge the door itself. A good opening kill for Furia to move things forward, but here comes Highs on the behind on the flank as well. Fantasy's also in a great spot, but Achieved is holding. Backs away, it's dangerously close. Tim is gesturing to me like no one else. He's dying to see the conclusion of this bit of kiss chase on the go. Can't quite find each other, and Fantasy almost with the nade from below.
It's agonising. It's going to be Geo to find the next kill. He gets himself Miracle, and Highs will not know how lucky he was to get away from Achieve, but it doesn't take long for him to find his man. He tracks him down and gets the kill, and TSM are going wild here in round 5. Bolo shuts down Rare. It's all up to Fantasy. He's got his extra health, his nanobots are working, he finds one. Can he find another 3? That is the question. He sees 1, he sees 2, he can hit neither. Shut down by Geo, and TSM's good fortune continues as they manage to come back and take round number 5, keep themselves fighting, and it's 3-2 now.
They're not making it easy, are they, Tim? They're keeping it close and making sure Furia are fighting not just for every round, but every gunfight they get matched up against as well. We're stepping down into Laundry, the final defensive round coming out for TSM. They did pick away a second ago from that clash. I wonder if they'll 6-pick it back in. Rare's even moving across onto the Decabi. So stepping off the Hibana, giving that privilege over towards Miracle. And Bolo going to 6-pick out here to a mute instead. Fantasy could go back over to that Finker once again, or could try something a little bit saucier. It's going to be the Finker, that juice, just a little bit too good. And the nades, always appreciated, of which they have 4 in this round.
Whew, you and I casting something that's turning into a classic, Des.
A barn burner.
It feels like it's only heading in one direction, doesn't it? With 3-2 almost at the half.
Do you want to say it this early?
I'm not going to say it this early. All right. I'm not going to say it this early. Not yet. Not yet.
All right.
But don't you worry. That line will be coming out if we get anywhere.
I'll join you on that. It'll be like our siege time start.
It will, and it'll be a big one. Furia, they are 1 round behind. They've had a good attack so far here on Oregon, getting 2 out of the first 5 rounds. TSM really need to lock down the basement here. They managed it back in round 3. They didn't manage it in round 1. They've been 50-50 on it so far. Furia got a lot of access to Laundry and Freezer when they were successful in round 1. That was something that TSM managed to manage a lot better in round 3. So it's something they need to be conscious of again. Furia maybe want to mix it up. A little bit of rear stage pressure, a little bit of bunker pressure maybe.
Yeah, I think just keeping them guessing is ultimately the best way to do it, right? If you're giving it a predictable freezer push once again, TSM are going to be ready to deal with that. However, the lineup has changed for Furia quite significantly. It was the Flores last time around, if you remember, which didn't really serve them all that well. Did clear a couple of bits of utility, but that was about as far as it gets. Here, we have the Decabi on side with the smokes. We've got, of course, the Finker coming in for Fantasy. So a number of things moving around for them here. A couple of changes they can make as you hear the first phone call ring out. Bolo playing on the mute is going to help lessen the effect of those. Again, if you're inside the mute area, either when the call goes off or if you enter it whilst the call is going off, it will disable the call or prevent it altogether.
As suggested, Furia just looking to mount a little bit of rear stage pressure as well. Surely this is one for Fantasy. Oh! Unbelievable start apart from him. Bolo manages to shut him down, but not before the damage is done, Des. That's Malusi, that's Jaeger, done.
I think we'd have lost our marbles then if that turned into a third onto Bolo inside of sight. Tim, I saw it line up for him as well. The TSM, you've been hit by Furia in the opening 60 seconds in at least half of these rounds. You know what they're trying to do to you, and you're still falling for it time and time again. It's a little bit of a kicker. They lose 2, sure. Fantasy goes down in the process. He takes 2 frag grenades with him, but those 2 kills cannot be understated. It's a 4 versus 3 with 90 seconds still to play.
Just taking over the cams there. That's why we see Merc just deciding to knock the glass out of the bulletproof. The door could be having full access. Bolo, he's going to be pivotal here, trying to hold on to rear stage. Needs to hold that position for as long as possible. Sharla as well, just looking to keep them out of elbow. Miracle, he's going to be down. Merc finds one. This is an unbelievable round as Lender's going to take a lot of damage. Rare's down. TSM are fighting back. They're digging deep and they are finding the answers. Merc gets Bolo gets highs and the round falls apart for the Brazilians. Bolo with another 3 in the round and TSM keep fighting. 4-2 on the half.
I thought surely there's no way they'd bring that one back after the initial 2 kills coming out of Fantasy, breaking the defense wide open. But you remember, secret super weapon Bolo is still alive. Did a lot of work there. 1 shut down Fantasy and went on to collect a 3K in the round itself. What a half of Siege we've just bore witness to, Tim. It ended 4-2 like many others have before it, but none quite in that fashion.
Absolutely not. I love what I'm seeing out of TSM here. They are showing such heart inside of this game. They've got themselves a reasonable advantage now, and they've had to really fight hard and dig deep for some of these rounds, and that just speaks to the mentality of this North American team. Really impressive so far, but let's not forget Furia, a team who do not know when they are done. They do not know when a match is over until that losing screen comes up, and they're going to keep fighting here. They head on to the defense. They've got some rounds to catch up, but I don't think they'll be too worried about that. They're going to be confident in locking down at least 2 of these sites, I would have thought.
Every round's a new round, Tim. No one is influenced by the prior outside of what sites you can and can't pick. It's something very unique to Siege, you get the feel, whereas in other games you think of in the esports world, generally snowballing away with money, generally it's based on money. You just get enough gold that you start amassing and you just find yourself pulling ahead through other means, whereas in this game it is a full reset. That mentality piece, again, cannot be understated. To be able to keep coming out and fighting no matter what happens, whether it's Furia or TSM, both are giving it their all in that game. Sure, TSM fell asleep a little bit on the last map and through the start of this map, but have warmed back into things. And I'm at that point now, Tim, where I'm probably saying it's a good 50-50 split. I don't know who walks away the winner.
I've really no idea. It's a roll of the dice. That's the only way that you can put it. If TSM can carry the momentum and get themselves a good attack here to begin with and go 5-2, you start feeling like that's going to be a real knock to Furia. But on the flip side, if Furia take this first round, then it is game on. They are right back into it now then. TSM just stacking up a drone at the top of Freezer would suggest that they may be going to pay a bit of attention. Furia with a typical LATAM defense of Freezer here, and that's a shotgun and a rifle at the bottom of the stairs, waiting to take that engagement right in the face. But I think that they will be dropping away fairly quickly as that security hatch gets opened up by the Maverick.
Here's a pretty slow start by Charlie.
How aggressive!
See the head? Oh, surely you can almost see the head as he pops it out there. Hatch pops off, nearly finds him a matter of pixels, keeping Charla alive and in the game.
So aggressive from Furia there. They do not want to give an inch. I'm all about it. They just will not give an inch at the minute. They've drawn their line in the sand and they will not be pushed back further than it. Now then, Charla going to work on the meeting hatch, getting some good work done here, and that is going to really increase the pressure on Furia. Rare, he's going to struggle to stay in that spot once this hatch is dropped.
Stressing me out on the ADS, and I was like, bro, it's really slow. Let's keep going. Destroy more of it. But he does get it open there with about a quarter of a gas tank left in the backpack. Stepping forward from here then, looking towards TSM side. They've got a lot of drones still intact here, Tim. There's a lot of information still being fed, to say that. And they lose 2 more. So, down to just 5, half remaining at that 60-second mark. and here comes a potential push in as TSM starting to square themselves up for an execute.
TSM definitely ready to go here. Merc's going to take a lot of damage there, but continues pushing his way through. He's going to find it reinforced. I don't think they were expecting that, but Bolo, he manages to find Lender, going either way. Rare gets the trade. Rare manages to lock down Freezer. Could be a good power position for Furia. 35 seconds left to go, and TSM have just taken the foot off the gas a little bit here. They got themselves in quickly, but they've just had to reassess. They've opened up the hole in the wall with a Maverick, and one goes either way again. 3v3. This is going to be an absolute onslaught in a minute. Geo caught out by the Wamai Magnet. Won't be able to flash Freezer. Rhea has an opportunity to peek this. The diffuser was going to go down. Smoke will take out Merc. Charla's down. Surely this is a Furia round. Geo, he's got to get the diffuser down. 6 seconds. He's just in the middle of sight, throwing it around. And there comes the final kill. And that is going to be Furia bringing us back to 3v4 on the scoreboard.
Much better as well. Again, looking back at round 1, it was on exactly the same site as in round 7. Only this time round, the defenders win where the attackers won before. That could be the difference maker. Second floor, we move up to now inside Kids' dorms. And on the side of TSM, that wasn't an awful attempt, but it was more that they all got themselves so crowded together. You had Charla with a quarter of a tank opening the tiniest of holes inside that supply wall to get an angle across the freezer. He was immediately put down, could do very little. The rest all came in through E-Box, and they were eating smoke for fun, Tim. They just kept on getting tagged out by Merc, even having to charge through it at one point. It was not a good outcome for TSM. Hopefully, the top floor can go better.
I don't know, as I called it at the time, I don't know whether Merc was just confident that Charla was behind him on the Maverick. It felt like he was dashing to elbow on the Ash in the hope of getting through that rotation, but found it reinforced, and it was maybe just a little bit of a, this needs to change, and Charla was already behind him. I don't know, maybe it was already the plan and they knew that it had been reinforced at that point, but the fact that he ran through toxic gas would suggest that the smoke was there not very long ago, so it may well have still been open. It was a definite worthwhile attempt from Merc, but it just shows how switched on Furia were with that timing. Get the smoke out, back through the rotation, no hesitation, get it reinforced before you can be pressured like that, and they were just that second ahead of TSM. 4-3, we find ourselves round 8, and Furia are going to be defending up on the top floor now. Fantasy aggressive as ever. 10-6, his frags are back up, and he is hungry for more. That much is sure, but he might just get some here. Bolo manages to get Rare. Can he get another? Fantasy makes the challenge and gets the kill on the trade. And this is just trade between these two devs. 4 versus 4.
That's what I love. Just nothing is being held, is it? They're just going blow for blow with one another straight the way through. It's absolute chaos. No dialing back, no being passive. It's constantly about playing for trades, getting kills on each other. It's one thing we commended TSM for in their game against DZ in the group stage. It was just continually playing for trades against each other, as opposed to the M&M versus Empire game earlier that day that was much more individualistic play. So it's good to see that still being retained, even against the madness that Furia are bringing.
Fantasy's just giving himself a little rotation option there, opening the hatch so he can drop away and disappear into the bowels of the basement should he want to. Merc applying the air jabs, which suggests there's going to be a little bit of play from this rear side, but of course they're wanting to get themselves established inside of Attic, and they don't want to be getting flanked from the green corridor. Fantasy still holding on in security for the time being. The wall has been opened through into kitchen, and that's going to increase the pressure for him, but he's just giving himself another option here. TSM have just sort of backed out of that a little bit, and they're not aggressing too much onto Fantasy underneath at the minute.
Miracle, the one inside a pit who's responsible for dealing with the pressure that's going to come in from Attic's side. There are 2 members up there, Merc and Charla, squaring up to try and push their way through. Obviously one with nades, one without. But on the back of the Nomad, 3 flashbangs. They can burn through those ADSs, and here comes a nade cooked over the top, also eaten by an ADS. Potentially a little bit of miscom there, as Charla now has no nades left, and the threat from Attic's side reduced severely, Tim.
If Miracle starts picking up kills there, that's it. You've got to say that it's a little bit of a mistake on the side of TSM not getting that nade past the ADSs, but Charla, he finds Miracle. That was essential. That opens up Attic for TSM. They're pushing double window as well. They've got Toxic Gas to go through. Charla finds another, trading out 2v2. Again, it continues. There's blow for blow. These two are just raining punches on each other at the minute. Geo needs to get himself in through this double critical window. 20 seconds left to go. He's being held from multiple angles. I'm not sure where Achieved has gone. He's rotated underneath. He's going to try to push up wide.
Finds the man as well through the smoke with a spray. There's one left alive. Highs, he's just going to hold. He's going to win this one gunfight and pray for the time there. They get the cross. Now Highs has got to beat Achieved and get the spray down. Goes for the impact. Achieved isn't covering, but he can't get through. Highs can't stop this one going down. Will try his best.
A team that are going to bring those unexpected moves there, and I doubt it'll be the last that we've seen of it yet. But TSM, they've got themselves a little bit of breathing space here. And what a day it'd be for the North American region, Des, if TSM can take this win, taking down 2 LATAM teams on the way to continuing through that upper bracket. It really does start to pile a lot of sort of reassurance on that prediction of TSM being one of the top teams here. You really start thinking, yep, there's a bit of respect on this name here because they are really flying.
It's crazy to think that at the start of this day we could have had 4 North American teams all in the upper bracket and no one else proceeding through. If Oxygen had beaten FaZe and they go on to beat Liquid, they'd be through. If TSM win here, they go through. SSG play Team Empire next, they'd be through. And then Down One here on the other stream, I believe on this stream actually, are playing the Sonics. They could have had 4. There's only the possibility for 3 now, but I doubt it's all going to go nice and plain sailing for NA.
For a region that has struggled over the last few majors, you know, that's just as it is. For a region that has struggled over the last few majors, to say that NA have managed to turn it around and have one team in every one of the top 4 matches of the upper bracket today is phenomenal. It's a great performance. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it.
I'm not afraid it's going to go out there on a leg and say this as well, is that I actually think at the minute Europe looks like the weakest region, which pains me to say, obviously, as someone who cast the region and loves seeing it. But outside of Empire, you know, Na'Vi have started to wake up a little bit into the competition. They've got Dark Zero tomorrow as well, which could be a real war. Yeah. But it's looking dicey. A lot of our teams are in the lower bracket. Empire kind of turning into our last hope.
Actually, it's what I love about Siege. I love the way that
back and forth nature is great.
That's it. You know, between regions, nobody stays dominant for long, and we see these changes, and then it just gives EU maybe this time the motivation to come back even bigger next time, and we love to see it. But there is a lot of Siege to be played yet before we decide who is best, who is worst, and who is going home. It's not going to be the outcome of this game. Whoever loses will go down to the lower bracket. The other will continue in the upper bracket. And right now, TSM just look like they've got the bit between the teeth. They can taste the victory here. Bolo finds the opener onto Highs. But yet again, that trade is not far behind. Rare manages to find Achieved. And we once again find ourselves at 4v4.
Whew. Okay. Spicy how things always balance back out in that 4 versus 4. I'm looking at Fantasy on the cap cannon just thinking that's not your kind of operator. But we know what those cap cannon traps can do. Now you can double stack them. Some teams leave it till very late in the round and end up running head first into them. I'll never forget during EUL, I want to say it was not the finals, it was definitely during EUL. Rogue had 2 people running through the same door at the same time on Bank and both died to a double cap can. It was unbelievable. So don't discount that operator. It can do a lot of damage when you aren't paying full attention.
Furia have given over top floor control very early in the round here, Des. TSM have had the longest time to try and manipulate this situation to get a plant down. They're in a position to try it now. Charla, he keeps going for it. The toxic gas is just holding him off, but now is the moment. Goes to put it down. Bolo on the cover, gets Lender. Charla going for it again. Kills raining in. Surely this is the moment. TSM heading for map point here. Furia falling apart. Miracle fighting his way back in with the shotty, but Charla, he manages to get that diffuser planted, and there's now 30 seconds for Miracle to do something about this 1 versus 3. TSM are on the vertical, they're on the horizontal, they're everywhere right now, Des.
There's just nothing they can do about this, Tim. I think Miracle living up to his name if he can pull this one back, but no way you win on those. It's a closeout for TSM. 6-3, one more round. And my God, have they fought their way all the way back through this, Tim, because we came into this map nervous for them, but they've made it look good. They look confident on Oregon. I was nervous for this for this map for them coming into it, but they've definitely showed me up, and so far I've given Furia something to think about.
What a spectacle we have seen from these 2 teams. Win or lose, both of them have played their part fantastically in what is definitely going to end one of the best games, surely, of this tournament. It's going to be up there amongst many others because we've had a lot of high-quality Siege so far, and I am certain there's even bigger and better to come. But this one has really whetted our appetites now. We've got got back into the playoffs today, Des. Day one of those playoffs, and it's going like this. Unreal stuff, and it's not the first one that we've had today either. There's been those second games, particularly on both A and B stream, were absolutely the nail-biters to the last minute. Brilliant stuff.
This one could turn out to be exactly the same. There's a couple of spicy changes worth touching on. 6 nades on the side for TSM, plus a Flores. Tons of destructive capability being brought along by the side, but they will have to meet their maker, a clash. I feel like I'm introducing a boxing match. Highs coming in on the blue corner.
I feel like I've been in a boxing match. I feel battered over here.
Coming in on the blue corner, it's Highs on the clash, or whatever you want to say, I don't know. But I think in that case, they're going to have a really interesting time dealing with that. We know how effective the clash gets alongside the smoke the later into a round you get. We used a term once that we drew from another game, from a MOBA, that we called a power spike. They get to that point in the round where they are most effective. Fantasy almost being caught on the rip there. Not a good start, but at least still alive to fight for another day. But let's keep an eye on Highs. The longer he lives, the more effective he will be, and the more struggle TSM are likely to have to close things out 7-3.
It really does feel like that last-ditch pick, doesn't it? It's the panic pick of, we need to get something here, we need to hold on, bring the shield, just sit behind it and see if we can slow them down. Rare just playing inside of the big tower there, dropping onto the joist after T3, going to hold his position for the time being. It
was Lion and DKB before on the attacking side, if you remember. Maybe Clash turns out to be that pick on the defense. I'm not saying you'll see him roll it for the next 3 rounds. I mean, we didn't expect to see the game get to this point, but it has, and this could be the pick that changes things. If TSM can't deal with it, it's going to cause a headache for them. Why wouldn't you keep on sticking with it?
Ooh, unlucky for Achieve there. Just takes a bounce back off the window for him. That's going to be a denial on the drone throw. He's going to have to go for it again. He was looking up to T3 to make sure it was clear. So TSM certainly paying their due diligence. They're not going to go rushing in anywhere without making sure it's been fully checked. Rare, Highs, they get themselves back to default positions. One's going to be in Shaco spot, one's going to be at Pillars, and they await TSM's push from the rear side. But I don't think it's going to come, Des, because right now it's looking like a lot of laundry and freezer pressure. That said, Achieved and Charla just making their way over there.
Yeah, I mean, the Flores hasn't started really with anything yet. Here we go. Now we're going to start seeing those rain through. The question is, what can they find on their merry little journey? To start things off, it's going to be that one mine magnet at the very top of the door. Not quite the #1 thing you want to be catching, but you'll take anything at this point. In the same way, Fantasy on half HP, giving himself a handicap, finds the opener onto the Habana. A lot of her work is done, but now probably can't open up. Shaiko spot is the worried Tim. Merc also down to about half HP. It's getting saucy.
Furia feel like they're in control of things here, but we know how quickly that changes inside a siege. Bolo pushing in, he's been a talismanic player. Can he do it again? He finds his man, shuts down Fantasy. So many times he has done that. 4 versus 4. TSM, they've got an opportunity here. Achieved is going to go down, and it just feels like Furia are going to come away with this one, but that's the shield gone. 2v2, there's 24 seconds left to go, and this is absolutely anybody's, but the diffuser is down cold, collected by Charla. Is he going to have an opportunity? He's going for it, Des. He's going to try and stick this. Miracle and Rare, 2v2. They've got to make a move. Merc cuts off. 1v2. It's Charla. It's Merc. It's Rare managing to find the kill. 1v1. Can he find his last man? Merc is low health. He's just going to keep himself inside of the closet. So is Rare here. Each of them a breath away from death, Des. It's going to be one bullet that will end this. 30 seconds left to go. 23 for Rare to realistically do something about this. He tries to peek the angle. Merc, he's not moving anywhere. He's going to keep himself put. Surely Rare knows where is he gonna? He knows now. Surely he goes for the pre-fire. Does he get it? No! Merc comes out on top. NA come out on top of what has been an unbelievable battle, and that is going to be TSM fighting their way from behind to take Oregon and to close out this match and continue on an unbelievable upper bracket run so far.
That feels like the kind of series that you'd classify as a